Happy New Year and hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lunch Guide. As I said, this is a new season. We're definitely looking at bringing some beautiful things to the table. But without further ado, I'll bring you to this side of the table. I'm going to introduce what we'll be working with. So from the front, I've got some cloves, some salt and some tomato paste. I've also got some cardamom seeds, some red onion, some ginger and garlic, a bit of some stock cubes there and some chili powder. I also have some beautiful coconut milk, some water, some olive oil, some coriander, some tomato and a carrot, some beautiful red kidney beans, some white rice there, jasmine rice, and some turmeric powder. So we're going to take a short commercial break, and when we come back, you don't want to miss what we're going to be doing with these beautiful ingredients. So please don't touch the dial. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are just joining us, as I mentioned, we're going to be working on some very easy and handy techniques today. I'm going to be showing you how to make a very easy lunch meal that you can actually be able to give to your kids to take to school, or even you as well as a parent, you can actually be able to make and carry with you to work. So without further ado, we're going to start off this beautiful dish. And if you missed out on the introduction, we are working with some coconut rice. We're going to be making also some coconut beans and some carrot sticks just to go with that. So first off, I'm going to start off with my condiments. I'm going to be using some fresh ginger. I'm just going to use about half a teaspoon. And I'm going to chop that very, very finely. Right, simple as that. We're also going to be using about half a teaspoon of garlic. So I'm just going to smash those using my knife and just peel them really quickly. And those we're just going to add into our pestle and mortar to my right. If you do have a food processor, you can actually use that as well. And if you don't have any of the two, you can actually just feel free and just chop that really finely. Right, so into the pestle and mortar goes my garlic and my ginger. To that, I will also be adding to that my cloves and my about 3 pieces of the cardamom pods. Just to give that a bit of grip, a bit of salt. All you want to do is just work that into a paste. Alright, so now that's about ready. So as you can see, it actually manages to hold really well. Now this is just gonna go into our hot pan. So our pan is nice and smoky, nice generous drizzle of olive oil. And then in there goes our garlic and ginger, our cloves and our cardamom pods. Right, and all you want to do is just infuse the oil. So just fry that for just a few minutes. Right, simple as that. And to that I will be adding my beans. And all you want to do is just give that a toss. Right, I'm also going to be adding a bit of onions, but remember for this particular reason, I'm actually going to add my onions after the beans. It actually gives it a bit of a beautiful flavor, as well as it still also looks visually nice. So I particularly like to start with my garlic and ginger, and then I add my onion right after the beans. So just some nice chunky size chops there. And to that we'll also be adding a bit of tomato. I'm gonna quickly give that a quick stir. Right, so to that, just to cool off our pan a little bit, I'm gonna add just a bit of water. Just give that a quick mix. We're just going to allow that to continue for a few minutes. And to that, I'm just going to chop up some tomatoes. Right, and in goes our tomatoes as well. Right, so just give it a nice quick stir. And remember, this is cooking at high heat, so we're just going to allow that a few minutes to continue. And in the meantime, we also have some rice which we're going to be cooking in some coconut. So I'm going to start off by adding my rice to the pot. So I'm using 1 cup of just regular jasmine rice. And to that, we're just going to add 2 parts of water. Remember, it's actually a very, very good ratio to use. And if you have a container that you actually use to measure your rice in, always remember just 1 part of rice to 2 parts of water. Right, so simple as that. And now all we are going to do, just give that a mix again. Now all we're going to do is get that going. So I'm just going to start it off on the side here. And basically what we want to do is allow that to start cooking. And we're just going to cook it covered just to allow us to get a bit of that steam to come up. And I'll add also just about a teaspoon of olive oil and a pinch of salt. And I'm also going to add just a small chunk of this beautiful ginger root in there. And last but not least, I'm also going to be adding just a little bit of some chicken cube. Right, simple as that. Keep that covered and just give that a bit of time to really build up some steam. In the meantime, I'll just bring your attention back to this side. So as you can see, the beans are now just starting to really shrink in size. And the tomatoes are just starting to break apart. So I'm just going to add to that some water. Also gonna add a bit of that chili powder. And we're also going to add some tomato paste. So I'm going to be using 1.5 teaspoons. Right, simple as that. I'm just going to give that a quick mixture. Right, so we're just going to allow that to cook for about another 4 to 5 minutes just to allow our tomatoes to break apart. And then we're just going to go and finish it off with a bit of the coconut milk on the side here. But while that continues, we're going to quickly just flip our board upside down, and I'll just grab a knife. So I'm going to start off by quickly just peeling 1 large carrot. So I'm using about 60 grams of carrot, but if you're using some smaller pieces, maybe 2-3 pieces will compensate for that. Right through the sides, and also never forget to core the edges as well. Remember, that always ensures that you don't have any grains of sand on your carrots. And we can just discard the rest. And easy peasy, I'm just going to start off by showing you how to chop that up. So I'm just going to cut that in half just to make it a little easier. So all I'm going to do is just using my knife, I'm just going to take a bit of the side off like that. And all we are going to do now is do the same thing, just go right around the carrot. Right, simple as that. And all we are going to do now is cut through there and cut that into 4 equal pieces. And I'm just going to do the same with the rest. And something also to pay attention to, particularly for the carrots, I don't recommend that you actually discard them. Remember, it's not that they're not edible, it's just that they're a bit of a trim. Right, so your carrot sticks are now done, but because you still have this beautiful carrot still left over, I like to just cut that into some strips as well. And this is just basically to allow me to get a nice even chop right through. Right, so my pot of rice is now just steaming, so I'm just going to take the lid off now and just allow that to continue cooking uncovered. And then for the carrot trimmings, for the excess trimmings that we had earlier, as I said, just cut them into some small strips and then just finely chop. So it's always crucial that you try and also watch waste. As I said, remember, we are in the January month, budget is really tight. And especially, as you all know, costs really go up in the beginning of the year. A lot of new changes come in. So always try and make sure if you're going to be working with a bit of your vegetables, if you have a bit of that trim, don't throw it in your bin directly. You can actually save that to make a bit of stock if you like to make your own stock at home. And you could actually even blend it into a smoothie for that purpose. Right, so for that excess carrot that we had, just finely chop that, add that into the beans. Just gonna give that a quick mixture. Right, so this is just gonna continue cooking down. And all we want to do, and you can actually use your spoon to actually try and break or smash those chunks of tomato as they continue to cook down. Right, so simple as that. So basically what we're going to do is just allow that to continue cooking, but before we do so, I've also got some bit of turmeric here, and I'm gonna add just about half a teaspoon to the rice just to give it a bit of color. And last but not least, just about a tablespoon of some chopped coriander, some chopped fresh coriander. I'm just going to chop that up as fine as possible. Right, simple as that. So about a nice tablespoon of some chopped coriander. The coriander really just brings out the flavor of everything in that pan. It really just combines the flavors really well. All right, just give that a mix like that. And as you can see, the mixture is now just starting to dry off. And all our liquid has just evaporated, basically. So what you want to do is you always want to add your coconut milk just before it really gets completely dry. And we like to do that for 2 reasons. First of all, you don't really want to infuse any of that water with the coconut milk. Remember, coconut milk is also a little watery itself. So you want to actually allow all the flavor to cook down before you add your coconut. And that's now about ready. So easy peasy. Just a nice bowl of some coconut milk. So I'm going to be using about 1/3 of a cup. All I'm going to do is just pour that right over the top. Maybe we can actually add about another 1/3 of that ladle. And all you want to do now is just bring your heat to as low as possible and just allow that to continue cooking slowly. And now just to bring you back to this other side, we're going to quickly check on our rice. So I'm just going to use this spoon to just break the grains apart. Right, so the rice is about 4-5 minutes away. We're just going to allow that to continue cooking till it's ready. We're also going to give this a bit of time to continue cooking down, and once we get the consistency we're looking for, the dish is basically done. But we are going to take a short commercial break. I'm going to get rid of all the mess in front of me, and when we come back, I'm going to show you how to easily just finish this beautiful dish. We're also going to do something really special to the carrots, and then we're just going to conclude the show. So see you after a short while. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are just joining us, we're just about done with the beans, and our rice is just about done as well. So I'm just going to turn that off. So as you can see now, the beans are now a little much thicker than they were earlier, and basically the coconut is still thickening. So we're just going to allow that to continue on low heat. And now I'm basically just going to quickly show you a quick trick with the coconut rice. I'm just going to quickly grab a pot here. Right, so very simple technique of doing your rice. I particularly like to first of all steam my rice and then just finish it off. So very simple. All you'll need is just a pan, and basically we're gonna add about a quarter cup of coconut milk in there. So we're just gonna allow that coconut milk to just cook down a little bit. So basically what you're doing now is you just want it to cream just a little bit. And then all we are going to do now is add our rice in there. So as you can see, our beautiful turmeric rice is now done. So all I'm going to do now is pour all that rice in there. Remember, always give your coconut milk just a bit of time to reduce. Remember, you're only infusing the rice, not recooking it. So simple as that. And basically all you want to do is just give that a quick mixture. Right, so now that's nicely mixed. I'm just going to allow that to sit on some low heat just to totally evaporate the milk. And we're also going to take out that knob of ginger that we had earlier, and we're just going to discard that. And now that is done, we're just going to turn that off, and we're going to let that rest a little bit. And we're just going to just quickly check on the beans, just give it a stir, and as you can see, it's now nice and thick. And one particular checkpoint I like to show you, especially if you're making beans and you really want a good consistency, I'm just going to show you on the pan. So basically, if you're looking for a really good consistency for your coconut beans, I particularly like to do it on a pan. And basically all you're going to do is move your spoon around the mixture like that. And what you're looking for is just a bit of just as soon as the spoon goes through, you're just going to give it just a few seconds before it just reconstitutes into the pan, and that should be a very good sign that your beans are ready. And all we're going to do is turn that off, and then just give it another thorough mixture. And then always very crucial, give it a taste just to check for seasoning, and it's good. So very simple, as I said. And I'm just going to bring your attention on this side quickly. Now here I've got the carrots we chopped up earlier, and as I said, very easy hint just to give it a bit of life. Just a bit of vinegar to your carrots, and then just mix those up quickly. And I always like to just cut them and just leave them in a bit of vinegar just for a few seconds for them to really absorb the flavors. And all we're left to do now is arrange our beautiful takeaway boxes, so our lunch boxes. So basically, as you can see, I've got two different sizes. And as I said, for demonstration purposes, I would probably use this for a baby portion, and I would probably use that for an adult portion. So I'm just going to demonstrate with a single one here, and you're basically gonna get the idea. So always handy with the lock and lock containers. They do come with this fitted small containers on the inside, and this basically allows you to actually portion your food out really easily. So very, very simple. Just gonna quickly grab a spoon, and we're gonna start off with our rice on the end here. And all we're going to do is just fill that up. And always just basically just get it right to the top. So basically that should give you a nutritionist recommended portion for baby portion. And then simple to that, we're also going to add our beans. Right, so always give it just a quick mix before you serve. All you're going to do is just scoop that into the other side of the container. And then, as I said, always remember to fill it all the way to the top. Remember, these containers actually come standardly regulated to actually serve a recommended portion by a dietitian. So always just make sure to cover it right to the top, but not too much. Remember, you only want to cover it as far as your lid can touch, and you don't really want your lid smothering everything all over each other. So as you can see, the lid actually, once closed, it should actually not be able to touch the lid. And what happens is when you take the lid off, it should actually stay clean. So we're just going to leave that in there. And then I'll just bring your attention this side. Now, as you can see, the carrot sticks are a little long. So what happens is you might not be able to actually press those and fit them in there. So very, very easy technique to just do that. Just cut them in half. And all you're going to do is just drop those in there. And ladies and gentlemen, your takeaway box is now ready. And as I said, this would probably be a good portion for a little child. Maybe a child anywhere between classes, or maybe class 1 to class 7, class 6. That should actually be a good portion for them to actually carry with them as a break or as their lunch to school. And basically, yeah, it has been a pleasure me showing you how to make coconut beans and coconut rice. I do hope you have learned something. I am also going to recommend, check out our Facebook page, check our site as well. There's plenty videos for you to learn from. We have been, remember this is season 5, there is plenty of stuff you can actually catch up with. So if you have just tuned in and you've missed this show, please don't worry, you will be able to actually catch it on YouTube. So do actually check out our channel. And from my end, it has been a pleasure. I bid you farewell, and I wish you a lovely new year. So until the next episode, have a lovely lunch today.